What's going on, everybody, and welcome to part 3 of the Halite series. In this part, what we're going to be doing is building some logic from the ground up. So in the previous videos, we've just really been working with the starter bot. We made some tweaks, and even just with those little tweaks, right now our rank is 934, which is, about 1,500 ranks better than running with the starter bot, and really we just made a couple tweaks. So that's pretty good. Now, what I want to do is kind of change gears a little bit and start thinking about play strategy. So generally, like, the game is not just things change as the game evolves, and at least at the most basic level, I see this as kind of two major tasks, right? When the game first starts, let's say in the environment, probably your primary objective is to get to planets as quickly as possible. So you really want to prioritize doing that rather than, say, attacking the other player. But once you have the planets, once you've got planets that you're mining, probably your best bet is to go attack the other player, especially if you're capable of getting to more planets more quickly than your opponent. This means you can shut the game down immediately by going and attacking your opponent. So anyways, they're likely, if you want to get really advanced and get really highly ranked, there's going to be many more states that you're going to have. But for now, let's just say initially we want to mine the planets. Once we've done that, let's go ahead and attack the other players. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is, my bot v1, I'm going to go ahead and just copy paste, and I'm going to rename this one to my bot-v2. And now I'm going to edit my bot. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear this out because we're going to let's just rewrite basically the entire thing. We're still going to use some familiar functions and stuff, but we'll start off fresh. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is import HLT. I'm going to import logging from collections. I'll import ordered dict, and we're ready to rumble. So let's go ahead and say game equals hlt.game. And this time I'm going to call it Centibot. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to call it that. So now we can do a logging.info, kind of like what they had before, and we'll just say starting Centibot. And then some familiar code. While true, the game begins. Every turn we want to know where the game map is. So game.update underscore map. And then just like before, we'll have a command queue that's going to hold basically the operations that we want to take. So now we're ready to begin iterating over our ships. So we're going to say for ship in game underscore map dot get me dot all ships. And that's actually has an underscore, all underscore ships. What do we want to do? Well, I think we might need ship ID. I can't remember if we're going to end up using it. I'm just going to comment that or put that in there for now. If ship.docking underscore status does not equal ship.docking status dot all caps undocked, we want to continue. So basically, if the ship is docked, we want to skip the ship. Now what we want to do is we need to figure out what's the state of the game. So the game map tells us some information, but we actually kind of want to know the information in according to each individual ship. So the way that we're going to do that is with a few loops here. So first of all, we're going to use entities by distance, entities underscore by underscore distance. And this is just going to use a built-in function from that HLT directory. And that's going to be game underscore map dot nearby underscore entities underscore by underscore distance. And we do that by the ship. Next, what we kind of... we care about the distances, but generally we care about the distances in order. So right now this is not in any serious order. So I'm actually going to say entities by distance now is equal to the ordered dict of the sorted entity. Whoops, actually I still have it copied, so I'll just paste entities by distance dot items, where the key is just going to be a quick lambda function. So we'll just do lambda t colon t 0. So that'll start us off as the key is just going to be that 0. So it's going to be the distance. So all this did was just order our dictionary and maintain that order for us. Okay, now that we have that ordered dictionary, this dictionary contains all entities, including our ships, enemy ships, planets, undocked planets, so planets in terms of being both undocked and owned by us or other people and so on. So the first thing that we're curious about is empty planets. So I'm going to say closest underscore empty underscore planets. And this is going to be a big old list comprehension, but we'll get through it. So it's going to be entities by distance, the 0th element, for distance in entities by distance, if is instance. So if entities by distance, which is the key, distance 0, if that is also an hlt.entity.planet. So if, scroll over, if it's just going to iterate over entities by distance. So for distance and entities by distance, the entity itself is going to be, oops, I made a mistake there. The entity itself in question basically is going to be entities by distance, and then the 0th element. That will be the specific entity. So long as entities by distance, as long as that entity itself is a planet, so long as that's the case, but also we want this to be an empty planet, so we need to say and not, and basically we're just going to highlight this. This dot is underscore owned. So that's quite the doozy. I will put links in the description, so if you missed any of that, you can go to the text-based version of this tutorial and just copy and paste it, because that's kind of a long list there. Now, but again, we're just iterating over the entities by distance. We make sure it's a planet and that it's unowned. And if that's the case, we're just building a list in order of the distance. And we are kind of throwing away the distance. All we're doing is we're saving the planet itself at this point. So that's closest empty planets. Now we want to get, it'd be a good idea to know our ships, because basically we want to know what are the closest enemy ships. And the way that I'm going to do that is just by getting just like we did here with empty planets, only we're just going to say if the entity is a ship and not one of our ships. So to get our ships, team underscore ships equals game underscore map dot get me dot all ships. And in fact, we probably could define that up here rather than doing it every time down here. I think I actually want to do that. So let's say team ships, because we don't need to reiterate that every loop. So team ships equals this, and since we're doing that here, let's go ahead and copy and paste there. So now it's we saved it here, but we also don't need to be calculating that list for every single ship. That's a little inefficient. So this will run a little quicker than doing it that way. And then let's say closest underscore enemy underscore ships equals, and again, this one is going to be very similar to this one. So I'm actually going to copy paste. So it's going to be entities by distance with the key of whatever that distance is and the 0th element, which will just be, okay, that entity. For distance in entities by distance, if is instance, entities by distance is, rather than being a planet this time, we want to make sure it's a ship. And this also needs to be a capital P for planet. And then and not, in this case, we want to make sure that the entity and not entity and not entities by distance. We got to take that not there. And that not in team underscore ships. We'll see. That was a lot of logic. I might wind up having to copy and paste it myself just to make sure I didn't screw it up. But I think I got it. So once we have that, now we know the closest enemy ships. We have our ships, and then we also have the closest empty planets, or at least planets in order. Closest is probably not the right word. I'm kind of naming these based on what I'm after, but closest would actually be the 0th element, right? Anyway, the show must go on. So we've got the enemy ships. Now what we're ready to do is we're just going to say if the length of closest empty planets, if that's greater than 0, so if there's at least one empty planet, let's say we want to run towards that planet. We're going to say the target planet, make sure that's still on screen, target planet is going to be the closest empty planet's 0. Okay? Then what we're going to say is basically if we can dock that planet, let's dock it. Otherwise, we navigate to it. So this is code that you should have already seen before. So if ship dot can underscore dock, if we can dock at that target planet, great. Let's go ahead and command QUE. There we go. Dot append ship dot dock at the target planet. So if we can dock, let's dock at it. Otherwise, let's issue one of those navigate commands. So navigate underscore command equals ship dot navigate. And we're going to do this ship dot closest underscore point underscore to target underscore planet. Just for the record, if you want to blow up planets, like get rid of the planet, you actually just fly into the planet. You just suicide into the planet. So if you wanted to, if another one of your strategies was to blow up a planet, you wouldn't actually navigate to the closest point to the target planet. You would actually navigate to the center of that planet. Just so you know, just in case you want to do that sort of thing. Now you know how. Anyway, and then we pass game map. We pass what speed do we want to go at. In this case, we're just going to do hlt.constants.max underscore speed. And then finally, ignore underscore ships equals, I'll set it to false. You can do whichever you want to do. I haven't really tested turning these on or off. I imagine maybe there'd be a little less calculations. We could run faster. But honestly, this runs pretty fast in my opinion. So we make that navigate command. If navigate underscore command, we're going to command underscore QUE dot append the navigate command. Okay. Now, so that's if there are empty planets. What if there aren't empty planets? Well, if the length of closest enemy ships, if that is greater than 0, what do we want to do? Well, we're going to say the target underscore ship is going to be equal to closest enemy ships, the 0th element. And then again, we're basically going to navigate to that ship. So the way that this works, the way that combat in Halite works, is you just need to be close enough to the enemy ships and you will just automatically engage in combat. So that's all you have to do. So props to them, by the way, for making that super simple. There's so many like things that you can do in Halite, and yet basically all you really do is navigate. And I guess you dock, but you're pretty much always just going to try to dock if you could dock, right? So I mean, I guess you wouldn't necessarily always do that, but for the most part, the biggest thing in this game is you just simply navigate and you do stuff automatically, which is pretty cool. Anyway, target ship, let me just paste this in. Oh, I guess because this was under an else, that's why it was tabbed over. Anyway, let's remove that extra tab. And then rather than target planet, we're going towards a target ship. Everything else remains the same. Cool. So at this point, we need to send that final, basically run the command queue. So game dot send command queue. And then what is our command queue? Well, it is command queue. No. Oh my goodness. Wow. We got it. Don't worry, everybody. I'm okay. Okay, and then just to make our eyes feel better, this is when the turn ends, and then the game is ended here. Woo! Okay, quite the doozy. I probably made an error. I'm just going to run this real quick to check for syntax errors. No syntax error, okay, but probably made a logical error, but we're going to see. So now what we're going to do is run my bot versus that settler bot. So let me figure out where we were. Yes. I guess my bot v1, that was our settler, like our just basic settler. Yeah. So we'll just run him against that, I think. Let's just check this bat real quick. See what we're running if we run that. It'll run my bot versus my bot v1. Okay, I'm content with that. Let's also delete these just so I know what is fresh and what isn't. Centibot came in rank 1. Good. Let's run it again. Also came in rank 1. One more time. Okay, so he seems to be doing pretty well for himself. So let me... I'm going to be really surprised if we just wrote all that out and there's no error. Let's see. Let's run this replay real quick. Uh-oh. What just happened? Please work. Thank you. Okay, Centibot is purple. So far he's looking pretty good. I'll know more once we take over all the planets, though. That's embarrassing. Yeah, so he definitely attacked. Good stuff. Let's run one of the other replays. Let's just make sure. It seems like the games are ending really quickly, mostly because poor little settler doesn't know what to do with himself. He's also traveling really slow. We actually should run him versus V2, which is faster. Let me do that real quick before we submit it and embarrass ourselves with a bad rank. So I'm going to change that to my bot V2 this time. And let's run that. There we go. We got to at least a few more turns. Centibot came in rank 1. Let's run one more. Okay, rank 1 again. So he's doing very well. Let's see though that second to last one took a little longer. Let's just see if we made any mistakes. Oh, okay, so it took longer because we both blew our ships up. Yet another major mistake everybody seems to be making. I haven't yet figured out how many ranks that'll save you if you don't make that mistake, but I'm going to wager it's probably a decent number. I think probably just at the beginning of the game, maybe just make your ships temporarily fan out, and that might solve the problem. Anyway, okay, our bot's looking good. I'm content. Let's upload this bad boy. So let me go ahead and highlight HLT, highlight my bot, send to, you can't see it, but I'm doing it. Oh, did you just do that to me? I think it was this one. Submission 3. Okay, so let's make the submission now. Drag it in, submit it. And I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of pause this and I will restart it once we start playing some games and I can confirm that we're actually playing, and then we can kind of see how the rank does. But it takes a pretty good amount of time for your rank to drop. So probably even initially it'll jump depending on how we do in those initial games. Anyway, I'm going to pause it for a little bit and I'll restart once we've played some games. All right, I've only really played a few games, but we've already dropped our rank. Whoops. I'm not sure why I went to submit a bot. Anyway, we've dropped our rank okay. It really wants me to be on this page. There we go. We've dropped our rank pretty significantly. As you can see, we've got quite a few wins here, so we're doing pretty good. And then here's one of the recent games. It's looking pretty good. We're definitely populating much, much faster. Yellow player really could do himself a favor by going faster. Really, all these guys could have done themselves a favor. I actually, if anybody wants to comment below, I have not seen really any player negatively impacted by zooming around fast. So, because even on the starter bot, the most basic logic, you're so much better if you're just running around quick. Anyway, yeah. So it looks like me and orange player are moving fast. The other two are moving slow. One of the guys is already dead. Another Charles. Yeah, this is a game over. Nice. Okay, we've dropped further rank. We're gonna almost certainly make it into the at least 700s. Look at all these wins. We did make some losses though. Let's check out these losses. I'm gonna wager we run into ourselves. Let's see. Fruit. What color am I? I'm blue. Oh my! Whoa! Sorry, I have to replay that. I wasn't even looking. So let's see. So immediately, the game launches, boom, we've run into two of our players or ships are gone, and then we go to the same planet and attempt to dock at the same time, which is just auto death for every unfortunate person involved. So we're knocked out of this game. Oh my gosh, that's pretty funny. It's comical. Anyway, yeah, that's a really simple fix, or at least that's a simple problem. I'm thinking you could just fan out really quickly in the beginning, and that won't be an issue anymore. Anyway, I bet that's going to save a lot of games, though. Man, that looks really good. All those wins. Look at this. We almost had a full page of wins. 801. We will be into the 700 soon. I can't remember. Is this one that we already... I can't remember which one we already played. Let's see if we blow ourselves up immediately. Nope, this is a different one. Oh, no, wait. This is a different one, and we did blow ourselves up. I think we started with one ship. Right? Yeah, so we just start with this guy, and then he runs to this planet, and by now we've pretty much lost the game, but we're still zooming around, doing our best. Oh, the last guy! He lasted a long time. But yeah, we are out of the game at that point. Again, this game could have gone a completely different direction if we just didn't make that one tiny mistake. So yeah, definitely worth fixing that one. Now into the coming stuff. I'm probably pretty done covering rule-based bots. I'm still going to keep messing around. I think it's kind of a fun challenge, but I can't keep messing around and sharing everything with everybody. Otherwise, what's the point? It's not a competition anymore. If I recall right, the competition ends January 22nd, I think it is. Let me look real quick to see if I get the official date. No, January 26th. So the competition goes all the way till then. Maybe after that point, I'll break some of the other rules down that I'm playing with. Just to give you some ideas, though, think about what other people are doing as well. So like a lot of people are likely to do things like, first of all, run into themselves, fix that. But also think about the strategies other people have and attempt to contradict one of those strategies or take advantage. So for example... what's one of the flaws that you could take advantage of in our bot? Well, if we look at our code here, oops, that's not the one I wanted. I want to do mybot.py. Basically, one of the things that our bot is always going to adhere to is right here, right? It's always going to go towards an empty planet. So one of the strategies you could plausibly take is leaving one of the little planets as kind of bait, right? Just leave it there, right? Some of the other things you could take advantage of too is like if you're in like a 1v1v1v1 situation, you could purposely not attack the player that's clearly going to lose the game or that has no chance of beating you. Like if all the planets are occupied, you might not want to waste time and lose ships going after the small guys. Kind of let the bigger other people take care of those, because most people are just going to randomly do it, like what we've done. We're just going to the closest enemy ship. That might not necessarily be the best idea. And like I said before, it might also be a good idea to leave a small little bait planet off somewhere else. Let other people waste their time going to that planet, or even kill ships that go to that planet. Just don't mine that planet. Just protect the planet, right? So anyway, yeah, stuff like that where you kind of want to start not thinking in terms of how quickly can I mine and how do I get my stuff and all that. Think in terms of how do you counter other people's strategies. But anyways, that's all from me for now. I'm also curious about trying to do some deep learning, or at least just some machine learning. I'm not really confident deep learning is required on this task. It's probably going to be solved almost just as accurately with something like k-nearest neighbors or something like that. But nonetheless, I am going to be kind of poking around with that. If I come up with something basic enough to share, I'll be sure to share that one with you as well. Anyways, one final rank check before I sign off. Let's see here. Yep. Okay. So we definitely breached into the 700s. So pretty cool. And now we're actually starting to lose some games. So we're probably going to be somewhere in the 700s. Anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed. If you've got any tips or tricks you want to share with us, feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you in another video, and good luck in the competition.